Good afternoon. Um, so I work as economist at this area, Economic Research Institute of ASEAN and East Asia. Um, I have to thank Professor Ruth first for involving me in this project. I have already learned much more than I contribute. My topic is centrality of Thailand in Japan's connectivity with Southeast Asia, and I think my presentation would be much shorter. It's much simpler than what other presenters have done today. Okay, so I would like to start with a summary so that I can stop speaking anytime. you get my messages. When the times come, I can just stop. The summary. So, starting working with Professor Ruth on this topic, my finding is that the centrality of Thailand in Japan's exchange or Japan interaction with Southeast Asia, especially the Mekong region, is rooted in the historical Thai, number one, and it evolved, enhanced through Japan's ODA after the war, FDI, the foreign direct investment, and then the formation of a production base. So this is my finding. I would show you the evidence later. Because of this centrality of Thailand in Japan's perspective, we see, people to people connectivity. We see trade connectivity. We see investment connectivity, which I can use statistics to show, to prove. However, number three, my main argument, another main argument after this finding is that you cannot take it for granted. Yes, Thailand has the centrality when it comes to Japan's relationship with Southeast Asia or the Mekong region, but you cannot take it for granted. Thailand is facing various challenges. Obviously, from the rising Vietnam, but I would argue that it is not just Vietnam. There are also other regional powers that are also rising that may start challenging Thailand's centrality in Japan's relationship with Southeast Asia. And I would end my talk with some prospects on this trend, and then some way forwards. Obviously, I cannot. I think it's the Thai people who has to come up with this ways forward. But I can share my thoughts on this. So I would start. By the way, next, what I would show you, from this slide, would be the statistics, the facts, the evidence to prove that Thailand is actually the center between Japan relationship with Southeast Asia. And at the same time, I would show you the trends that why I argue that Thailand is facing serious challenge in these positions. So number two and number three. So number one, historical background. What kind of tie Japan has with Thailand? You see, many people have mentioned this already. Ayutthaya time with Thailand, it dates back to 14th century, and Thailand and Japan actually have FTA, some kind of FTA. Of course, it's not a modern FTA, but you can look at it as an FTA as well. This amity and commerce between declarations of amity and commerce between Thailand and Japan in 1887, way earlier than the rest in Southeast Asia. And Thailand was also an ally to Japan during World War II, for the most part of World War II, I would say. Thailand, occupies a very special, place in Japan relationship with with Southeast Asia. The last point that I put here, many countries after the war, they receive a lot of ODA from Japan, but that is, some kind of compensations. For Thailand, it is not. It is actually, majority of that is actually the procurement that Japan did during the war. So it was a business, interactions between Japan and Thailand. Well, one can say that, the precise amount should be less than that, should be more than that. We cannot discuss that. But I think Japan relationship and Thailand is actually very unique. And after the war ended, number two, the special positions of Thailand. I think you can see from this graph, easily. Thailand was by far the largest recipient of ODA from Japan. Not just in Mekong regions. I only put Mekong region here, but you can compare this with the ODA that Japan's provide to South Korea, for example, which was quite close to Japan as well. Even compared to that, the amount was not small. And also you see that Vietnam is rising very quickly. The top one, I order the. So this order is always the same as the last year amount order. Vietnam is catching up very fast, but if you see, since 1969, Thailand has received much more ODA than the rest of countries in the Mekong regions. And where did this ODA go to? Well, it contributes to infrastructure development, to including energy, road, irrigations, higher educations in Thailand. And I believe it contributes to economic developments in Thailand. And the centrality of Thailand in Japan's relationship with Southeast Asia as well. Just quickly, I would like to show this before I go to another topic. Yes, Thailand was the center, but that has become, quite different since 2005. In 2005, you see the red one, Japan surpassed Thailand. Vietnam surpassed Thailand as the biggest recipient of Japan's ODA in the Mekong regions. And in 2020, before the coup d'etat in Myanmar, you see that Thailand becomes 1, 2, 3. So it's Thailand become number 4. I think I made a mistake. Cambodia is number 3. You have Myanmar number 1, Vietnam number 2, and then Cambodia number 3. So in terms of aid, it seems that now the focus is not Thailand. It's other countries. But we can see it as graduations of Thailand as well. And how this ODA contribute to people and people-to-people connectivity. This one slide, I hope I can convince you with this one slide how important Thailand is to Japan. So first, the Japanese residents in the world. We look at different metropolitan areas in the world. You see that Thailand is only next to Los Angeles. Los Angeles, you have more than 60,000. In Thailand, the whole kingdom, you have more than 60,000. But in Bangkok alone, you have nearly 50,000 Japanese living here. I was here, between 2016 to 2019, working at Jetro office. I can tell you, I have a bigger pool of Japanese people or Japanese shops than where I live in Japan, Chiba Prefecture. So it feels, you can live here without, only with your Japanese, without having to speak Thai. And how many Thai, compared to the level of income, I think many Thai people also come to also visit Japan as well. You have about 1 million Thai people, Thai tourists, visit Japan in 2024. So number five altogether. And when we look at number of foreign students study in Japan, until 2004, Thailand had always been in top five countries. If this is not enough, to convince you that Thailand is really important, looking from Japan, I can share with you. I haven't put here, no space left. Already. The place that I'm from, Japan External Trade Organizations. I work in area now, but it's a secondment. Come to work in area temporarily. My real job is at JETRO. JETRO, Japan External Trade Organization, was established to promote trade and investment, Japan trade and investment with foreign countries after Second World War. And the first foreign branch was New York. It was in 1953. So it was less than 10 years after the end of the war. So the war ended, Japan started to develop, and they thought, they have to trade with the world. They had to have a branch somewhere. Started with New York, fair enough, I think. The second one is Bangkok, not other countries, not other US cities. So number 2, JETRO branch was Bangkok in 1954. So you can see how important Bangkok is. And still, even now, JETRO Bangkok is the largest single office of JETRO in the world. In China, you have Shanghai, you have Peking, you have many cities in US as well. But if you look at only single office, then JETRO Bangkok is by far the largest in the world. However, we see the same trend here. If you look at since 2004, you see that Vietnam emerged very quickly as the bigger source of foreign students in Japan. And in 2020, you see that number 1 is Chinese, about 121,000. Number 2 is Vietnam, 62,000, which in 1 year, they sent already more Vietnamese students than maybe the Thai had sent since the end of the World War. You can see the speed that the other Southeast Asian countries has been building their relationship with Japan. And we look at other connectivity, the FDI, same picture, I think. Thailand has been, by far the largest, the most important countries for Japanese FDI, and it's not just for Mekong region. See, this also almost globally. If you look at this stock, you have my PowerPoint. I think you can look at it later if you want to read the numbers carefully. But here I would just try to prove my story with these statistics. So if you look at stocks, Thailand is still by far the largest, even if we include Malaysia, Indonesia, or even India. If you look at the stock figure, Japan is said to be the number 1. They have assets, a lot of assets in other countries. Number 1 country with foreign assets, Japan. I think most of that is in Thailand. Not all of that. That's why, if you see at this FDI stock, you see that Thailand is still leading. FDI, I think, is the only a sector based on my study with this project that I think Thailand still possess, a very strong competitiveness compared to other countries. But if you look at, people to people connectivity or this trade connectivity, you see that, the rise of Vietnam is very fast. And if you don't do anything, maybe Thailand would not be at the center anymore. So you look at the import, Vietnam already surpassed Thailand. Import, it means that the export from Thailand, so Vietnam has already export to Japan more than Thailand now. Yeah. So this is the prospects and then the challenges. Number one, I think we have to admit that we have the changing economic landscape. And when I say so, I mean many things. Number one, in these regions, you have China's per capita GDP surpassed that of Thailand already in 2011. And Vietnam is also now, a preferred destinations of China plus one model. And on the other hand, Japan is also not, number two economy in the world anymore. We just hear recently that India has surpassed Japan as well. So it may seem a paradox, but I think maybe Thailand has to look beyond Japan in order to maintain centrality with Japan. So maybe to work with Japan alone would be difficult to maintain Thailand positions. But if it looks, further than Japan, if it looks to, these neighboring countries, which Thailand is geographically, at the center anyway, maybe there are ways to maintain that positions. And other presenters have, discussed, so far, how Thailand may possess comparative advantages. In that sense. So number one, I think maybe Thailand needs to look beyond Japan. Number two, I think Thailand needs to focus on Vietnam. I think I have to be very careful because I'm originally from Laos. It's a buffer state between Thailand and Vietnam. So I'm not, encouraging any confrontations here. But it's a fact that you have to accept, right? Your biggest rival economically now is probably Vietnam. So what is the implications of the rise of Vietnam in the can you turn it on? Yeah, in this in your centrality with the relationship with Japan, I think that is something that you need to consider. Very seriously. Number three, implications of Thai-Chinese high-speed railway, and of course, the Lao Chinese, because that's how you want to connect to China, the number two economy in the world on land. Lastly, I think centrality is a concept of network, and you don't have network without connectivity, right? For example, if you have, you are between country A and country B, it doesn't mean that you are at the center if you are not connected to both countries. We know many countries in the world that are next to one another, but because of maybe war or confrontations, you cannot even cross the border. So I think the term centrality, it means connectivity. In order to become, the center, how you do it is you create a networks in a way that you become the center. So if we look at it that way, I think what Thailand can do or maybe do is I would like to say two things. Number one, I think it repeats what I say. On top, so I would just skip it. Number two, I think maybe you need some kind of Thailand's versions of BRI, smaller BRI. On the connectivities that we have seen, other presenters or Professor Ruth, I think is essentially this. You try to create networks that Thailand is at the center. So maybe Thailand needs to be more proactive in developing this kind of network if it wants to stay at the center when it comes to, Japan's relationship with Southeast Asia. Thank you very much.